World turning round and round, see this in every town. Never here, I just roam. Questions leave me alone. Suspicion in their eyes, is it wrong to live in disguise? Misdemeanor or a crime? I just wonder all the time. You don't need my ID, just let me be, let me be. Dirty bacon on my trail, in this world I won't fail. Catch me if you can, always moving, I'm the man. Rules with no name, just bets from the thoughts in my head. On a train or in the sky, I'm the one who loves to fly. No chains to hold me down, freedom's what I found. You don't need my ID, just let me be, let me be. Dirty bacon on my trail, in this world I won't fail. Catch me if you can, always moving, I'm the man. Rules with no name, just bets from the thoughts in my head. On a train or in the sky, I'm the one who loves to fly. No chains to hold me down, freedom's what I found. You don't need my ID, just let me be, let me be. Dirty bacon on my trail, in this world I won't fail.
I think we're live. I think we are live. Yes, this is in York, Pennsylvania. Can you guys hear me? Sorry, really kind of just rushed to get this on the air. So, NBC had reported that 5 officers were shot, but we're about to have a press conference here. So, wanted to come on the air and cover this. Officers were shot, but we're about to have a press conference. Sorry. Got to get that stopped. NBC News had reported that 5 officers were shot in York, Pennsylvania. So, in York County. So, again, about to have a press conference right now. I didn't know they'd be having this, so I figured I would come on and cover it. And that number might not be correct about the 5. The NBC News report claimed that this happened hours ago, a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours ago, I want to say, several hours ago. But NBC News claimed that officers were serving a warrant and that 5 of them were shot and that 1 was in critical condition and 3 in grave condition. And that the shooter was dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. But I cannot confirm that information. So we're going to be hearing from authorities shortly, and Governor Shapiro is going to be speaking as well. There hasn't been that much details on this, so again, we're going to be getting some shortly here. Give me one moment here. Sorry, I just had to kind of rush on the year when I saw this was happening. Let me just make a quick adjustment here. Oops. Now it says begin momentarily again. See what happened? They went live, and then I guess they weren't ready. So they went back to the graphic. One witness, according to NBC, one witness said they heard around 30 shots. Oh, hold on. It's weird. This is like, that feed is behind. What's happening? Now, let me get you the other feed. Can I do this? There's two feeds. Oh, here we go. No, let's just listen to this one. This is fine. Is there volume? All right, here we go. Fine. No, we're good.
Good evening. My name is Colonel Christopher Paris. I serve as the Commissioner of the Pennsylvania State Police. I'm going to address you this evening concerning a critical incident that has rocked the community here in York County this afternoon. The incident occurred in Caduras Township, York County. I'd like to preemptively say that there are many details which at this point we are not prepared to release given the ongoing nature of the investigation. That having been said, we would like to advise the community that there is no current active threat. The situation today involved law enforcement officers who were shot. I can confirm that the shooter is dead. I can confirm that there were 5 law enforcement officers who were shot today. 3 fatally, 2 that were transported here to Wellspan in York. They are currently listed in critical but stable condition. The District Attorney of York County, who is no stranger to this community, or in collaborating with the Pennsylvania State Police, Tim Barker. I've spoken to him. The Pennsylvania State Police has been asked to convene a major case team to conduct the lead in this investigation with the assistance and in collaboration and in partnership with the York County District Attorney. I can assure you that all of the resources of the Pennsylvania State Police are being brought to bear. There is still very much an active scene at Caduras Township, York County. Later this evening, the District Attorney will have more information to release. I can tell you that the Pennsylvania State Police have taken over calls for service for the Northern York Regional Police Department, and we will continue to do so to support our partners. I can tell you that I've spoken to the Special Agent in charge of the FBI out of Philadelphia, our municipal partners and county partners here in York County, and we've received multiple offers of assistance from our fellow state partners to include New Jersey and York. But we have a very large investigative scene. In being here today with our law enforcement family for the second time in 2025, I'd just like to say on a very personal note, our hearts and prayers go out to them, to the families of the deceased and the families of those officers who were wounded. There are simply no words that I can offer to assuage the grief that this community has experienced and unfortunately will continue to experience. The grief will be unbearable, but we will bear it. So we stand here today united for our partners all across the law enforcement spectrum, and we will not rest until we've conducted a full, fair, competent, and thorough investigation into this matter. Lastly, I would simply ask to the community here in York County and beyond, all across Pennsylvania and all across our nation, if you could keep the families that were touched by this tragedy today in your thoughts and prayers. Please give them a solemn thought. And to the women and men who are working diligently right now to push this incident forward and the investigation forward and the aftermath that will have to be dealt with and persevered through, our hearts and prayers are with them. Thank you very much. I'll now turn it over to Governor Shapiro.
This is an absolutely tragic and devastating day for York County and for the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We grieve for the loss of life for 3 precious souls who served this county, served this Commonwealth, and served this country. And we continue to pray for the full recovery of those who are dealing with their wounds. This, of course, is on the heels of just a few months ago when we lost another York County son, Officer Duarte, who again gave his life in the line of service. I had the opportunity with the Lieutenant Governor and with Senator Phillips Hill, Representative Grove, and your 3 county commissioners to spend some time with the families of those who have been impacted by this violence today. I think it's important for you to know that these families who are dealing with, they're grieving right now and they're suffering right now, took time to tell us how proud they are of their loved ones who put on a uniform to keep us safe. It's an extraordinary thing that these law enforcement families do. They support the individual who puts on the uniform and runs toward danger. They're there for them when they leave in the morning, and they pray throughout the day that they will come home at night. So I hope as this community comes together, as I know it knows how to do, and prays, that we think not just about those who wear the uniform, but those who stand behind and next to those who wear the uniform every day. These families are extraordinary, and I hope you'll join me in prayer for them. I had some time to spend with the law enforcement who are gathered here today, who ran here because they knew that their brothers in uniform were in danger or their lives were cut short. And I'll just share with you what I told them. The entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania respects them, and we have their backs. And we so appreciate the work that they do every single day when they go out to keep us safe, when they go out to protect our freedoms and our rights. This is something that sadly we only tend to share in times of tragedy. I think it is important that this Commonwealth knows that every day we appreciate those who put on the uniform and those who keep us safe. There are others here at Wellspan who wear different kind of uniforms. And I want to say thank you to the doctors, to the nurses, to the staff here at this extraordinarily wonderful healthcare institution that sadly has seen too much trauma. But thanks to their extraordinary talents and their dedication to their neighbors, they're able to help people get back up on their feet. That's what you did today for these 2 brave souls who put on a uniform to keep us safe. And so we appreciate those of you who don the white coat and the scrubs, those of you who support the work that they do. You truly are wonderful people, and we appreciate you very, very much. I want to let you know that Attorney General Pam Bondi reached out directly to me and shared with me that we have the full support of the federal government. I know, as Colonel Paris indicated before, he has spoken to the lead of the FBI here in this region. We so appreciate law enforcement at every level, and we, of course, appreciate our federal partners. General and I worked together when I was Attorney General here in Pennsylvania. She was the Attorney General in Florida. It meant a lot to me that she reached out to offer her support and her prayers for good people of Pennsylvania. Here's the last thing I want to say, and I'll turn it over to the Lieutenant Governor. This kind of violence isn't okay. We need to do better as a society. We need to help the people who think that picking up a gun, picking up a weapon is the answer to resolving disputes. We need to do better when it comes to mental health. We need to do better when it comes to looking out for those who are in need, so we don't have to deal with tragedies like this. We got to do better as a society. I know everybody up here believes that, and everybody up here works hard to do that every day. I just think as a community, it's time for us to work hard to heal from this and to make sure that those whose lives were lost today, that something constructive can come from that in their memory that stops this kind of violence in the future, that protects those people that put on those uniforms for us. It makes it so these trauma surgeons don't have to patch this many people up. We gotta do better as a society. I know we're all committed to doing that work. We've got to do even more. Now's the time for this community to come together and to do this important work. And so on behalf of a grateful Commonwealth, I say to those who wear the uniform of law enforcement, thank you. To those who wear the uniform of healthcare, thank you. To the elected leaders up here, thank you for the work that you have done and now you will do to keep our community safe. And to Colonel Paris and the entire team at the Pennsylvania State Police, I know you will have every resource you need to make sure that this investigation is conducted fully and thoroughly, and that whatever steps need to be taken will. May God bless York County and the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. May God bless and watch over those families that are suffering right now. Lori and I join you in prayer, and I think prayer is a particularly important thing at this moment here in York County and all across Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Governor. I share your thoughts and prayers for the officers that were lost today, the officers who were injured, and every law enforcement person across this great Commonwealth. We are unfortunately here again in York County because of gun violence, the issue that brought me to public service. I want everyone to know today is not just a devastating day for this community in this region. It's a devastating day for our entire Commonwealth. My wife Blair and our entire family join in the prayers of, I believe, 13 million Pennsylvanians who are praying for the officers and their families today. You know, we ask a lot of police officers in our communities, and they always run towards danger. I think we all have a responsibility to continuously do our part to make our community safer. I know I'm going to continue to do my part, and we are consistently grateful for the commitment and the sacrifice that our law enforcement officers make. We're grateful for the healthcare professionals who run towards danger to aid folks in their time of need, and we're so grateful for the work that they've done today. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Carney from WellSpan Health, who will provide an update from the medical perspective.
So we received 2 gunshot wound victims from the scene. We immediately took them to the OR. They are both in critical but stable condition currently. Trauma centers are a resource for the community. We're here when you need us, and we enjoy the support of both the local government, state government, and our administration. Thank you.
So at this point, I would open it up to a few brief questions, however, prefacing that with the fact that the information we can provide is extremely limited. Sir.
Did you say this was the officers involved are from Northern New York?
I did not say, and that was intentionally done so. Obviously, we know who they are and who they work for. Our concern is that there are some investigative steps that we're taking right now, and at the request of the district attorney, we're withholding that information. I've spoken to District Attorney Barker. I know there are a lot of things going on right now, but at some point I know he will brief the media. Sir.
The circumstances surrounding while these officers were there was they were serving a warrant of some sort of PFA?
So they were there to follow up on an investigation that began yesterday. The general heading of that investigation, I would say, would be domestic related, but beyond that, the facts and circumstances, we have more information, but pending the search warrants that we're currently typing up and serving, we want to hold that information any more specificity.
Is it which department they were with, the officers?
No, I did not. So we're going to at this point say that the 5 law enforcement officers in York County, and we're going to leave it there, and I'm going to defer to the district attorney, Tim Barker.
I just want to be clear, so there were 5 law enforcement.
We tried everything, but Charlie still struggled with math. Then another mom
Correct. Those numbers are correct, sir. At this point, we believe that the community is safe, but we're leaving no stone unturned, and we're going to run every lead down. But I don't have that for you.
SWAT was called in.
I'm not prepared to release that. Like I said, I'll defer to the district attorney. Sir?
Have we heard anything as far as weapons or what exactly happened when they arrived?
No. I mean, we have, but not that I can confirm with any specificity that I would be concerned we would have to backtrack on later. So very much processing a large scene. I will confirm that it is a large scene. Members of the PSP Forensic Services Unit are down there mapping it right now. It's still very much an active scene. It is secure, and we believe, just to reiterate, there's no threat to the community.
A couple more questions here. Was he shot by police or did he shoot?
He was shot by police.
Can you confirm the address or the block number of the scene?
No, not at this time.
Governor, can I get your thoughts on earlier today you were in Chester trumpeting the fact that violent crime had actually been reduced there? What your day, how you would sum up your day after that, and then here you are now.
Well, look, this isn't about me or my emotions. I think this is just about a grieving community, and I wanted to be here with this community. I want law enforcement to know how much we care about them and respect them. I want this hospital team to know how much they matter in this community. And most importantly, I want these families to know that we're all grieving with them and praying for them and that they're not alone. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, so a really tragic story you heard. 5 officers shot, 3 dead, and 2 in critical condition in York County, Pennsylvania. I apologize because I've been following, right after that press conference came on, I actually just read about a new news story that I am following right now. And I want to just mention it. So I didn't even get a chance to watch the whole press conference, to be honest, because the Wall Street Journal is reporting that Disney's ABC is pulling the Jimmy Kimmel show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, pulling Jimmy Kimmel, it's the report says. I assume it's the show. ABC is pulling Jimmy Kimmel indefinitely after his recent remarks after Charlie Kirk, which is a huge story. So again, I apologize for both those things. I didn't even get a chance to watch the whole press conference because we're going to end up shifting the coverage to do that. I think I'm just going to make this, instead of doing a news stream, I'm going to make this stream that stream. So I did want to let you see the press conference. Clearly some more details to come about that shooting, but just awful. 3 officers killed, 2 injured in that incident in York County, Pennsylvania. So, and then with the, there had been some reporting. So I'm sorry that there's 2 things going on at once right now, and I didn't even get a chance to fully even take in that press conference once that other story started. So I'm kind of doing both things at once, but that's going to be a big story because there was this reporting earlier today about Kimmel that said, like, the FCC, earlier today, the FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, had issued a threat against ABC and Disney, a threat to take action. So this is going to be a really big story. And again, I'm not trying to minimize the officer story. So what I'm going to do is, what I actually want to do is, so we saw the press conference. I am going to shift the coverage over to the Kimmel story. And I'm sorry that we have to do that, but that's happening too. But you got to see the press conference on that. Again, just a terrible incident there in York County, Pennsylvania. So I'm going to switch over to that and make that the topic of the stream, but I'm not going to start a new stream. I just need to take a second and switch the name of the stream, okay? So we're gonna cover that here, and if I get updates about the officer story, I'll certainly keep you updated if I see more updates about it, okay? So again, I'm sorry to have the switch thing, but there's two things going on at once. Okay, so what I need to do now is I am going to just yeah, again, the only report I've seen about it so far is, let me just take a second and talk. Let me just take a second and go back to the police thing for a second before I switch over. So Nexstar has definitely announced, they're one of the biggest owners of ABC stations. Brian Stelter mentioned that. Nexstar, and I can see their announcement, Nexstar ABC affiliates are pulling Jimmy Kimmel. I can tell you that. That's definitely happened. Before we get to that, let's just talk for a second more about the York County. I want to just talk about that for a second more, this incident here. If you give me a second here, hold on a second here. I can cover both eventually, but again, we're going to have to, I want to switch the focus of the stream, but I just want to address what we just heard. And again, I didn't even get a chance to fully see the press conference. So I heard that there were 3 officers dead, 2 in critical condition, and yeah, can I just, real quick, with the, I don't want to watch the whole press conference again. With the 5 officers shot, did they confirm? I have to just, I'm not sure where it was discussed in the press conference. Let me just go over real quick and see if I can find it. It was, reportedly they were serving a warrant. Was that confirmed in the press conference? Because I didn't even get a chance to watch the whole thing. It was domestic incident? People are confused. Was that in the Q&A? I think I'm going to have to just play it again. Was the details in the Q&A? I think I heard something about domestic issue. Was that? Let me just really quick throw the replay of the press conference. I'm not going to play the whole thing and just get those details for you about the incident. And then we'll switch over. Sorry, it's a bit confusing right now because of all that's going on. Where is this here? Oh. Why is this all messed up? That I do not know why that is messed up. This was moments ago. Why am I not hearing anything?
Pennsylvania State Police. I know you will have every.
Hold on. I'm going to go to the Q&A just to get to the Q&A.
I would say that they're done by.
Oh, here we go.
However, so at this point, I would open it up. So at this point, I would open it up to a few brief questions. However, prefacing that with the fact that the information we can provide is extremely limited. Sir.
Did you say this was, the officers involved are from Northern New York? And
I did not say, and that was intentionally done so. Obviously, we know who they are and who they work for. Our concern is that there are some investigative steps that we're taking right now, and at the request of the district attorney, we're withholding that information.
Do you know what the district attorney plans to release?
I've spoken to District Attorney Barker. I know there are a lot of things going on right now, but at some point, I know he will brief the media. Sir.
The circumstances surrounding while those officers were there was they were serving a warrant of some sort of PFA?
So they were there to follow up on an investigation that began yesterday. The general heading of that investigation, I would say, would be domestic related. But beyond that, the facts and circumstances, we have more information, but pending the search warrants that we're currently typing up and serving, we want to hold that information any more specificity.
They were following up on a...
No, I did not. So I
they
would
were-
want to at this point say that
They were following up on something from yesterday, this domestic incident, right? And they have more information, they're just not releasing it right
our
now.
concern is that there are some investigative steps that we're taking right now, and at the request of the district attorney, we're withholding that information.
Do you know what the district attorney plans to release?
I've spoken to District Attorney Barker. I know there are a lot of things going on right now, but at some point,
Officers were there was they were serving a warrant of some sort of PFA?
so they were there to follow up on an investigation that began yesterday. The general heading of that investigation, I would say, would be domestic related, but beyond that, the facts and circumstances, we have more information, but pending the search warrants that we're currently typing up and serving, we want to hold that information any more specificity.
Which department they were with?
No.
Okay, so I need to transition. CNN is also confirming that ABC is taking Jimmy Kimmel off the air indefinitely over his comments about Charlie Kirk. So what I'm going to do now is I'm not even going to start a new stream. I am going to I'm going to keep an eye on the Pennsylvania story. If I get updates about that, I'll let you know. And now we're going to go over to that, over to that story. So I need a second to just change the title of the broadcast and change the thumbnail. In our national political discourse, said the president of Nexstar's broadcasting division. Oh, earlier today, the FCC chair, FCC is in part of the Trump administration. Earlier today, the FCC chair, Brendan Carr, had urged local broadcasters to stop airing the show on ABC. All right, hang on a moment here. Just give me 1 second. Make sure I posted about this. Because we switched the topic of the stream. We covered the terrible shooting of the officers in Pennsylvania. And let me just make sure I posted about it. I don't even know what I've done. Um, we have we are live with covering a news story. So I just had to post that on our social media. Oops. Our live covering, sorry. Of the FCC, if he had any new comment now that ABC has pulled the show, and Brendan Carr, the head of the FCC, sent Brian Stelter a GIF of characters from The Office celebrating, which I don't have the rights to show you, but I just reposted it. Again, Brendan Carr, the head of the FCC in the Trump administration, asked for a comment from Brian Stelter, sent him a GIF of people from The Office, including Steve Carell. It looks like an Office clip of them celebrating. Chris Hayes of MSNBC says that the chair of the FCC explicitly threatened them, specifically the affiliates, hours before they made the decision. He says, and the president has said he wants Kimmel and Colbert off the air. So Chris Hayes, he believes that this has been heavily influenced by the Trump administration. I can't confirm that at this point. We are bringing you the latest updates here. Give me a moment here. This is a developing story. ABC pulling the Jimmy Kimmel show off the air over remarks he made about the Charlie Kirk assassination. Now, earlier today, Fox News reported that earlier today, FCC Chairman Brendan Carr issued a threat against ABC and Disney, suggesting he would take action over comments made by Jimmy Kimmel. Appearing on The Benny Show, Carr called Kimmel's comments some of the sickest conduct and suggested there were potential avenues the FCC could pursue. So that was earlier today. Again, earlier today, FCC chair from Fox. That was earlier today. I don't even think it was that long ago. So the headline from Fox was, earlier today, the headline from Fox was, FCC chair levels threat against ABC, Disney after Kimmel suggested Charlie Kirk assassin was MAGA? Again, that was the story from Fox News earlier today. They have a headline that says FCC chair threvels threat against ABC Disney after Kimmel suggested Charlie Kirk assassin was MAGA. Hold on one second here. I want to try one thing. If I'm able to get permission, I'll show you the Brendan. I'm attempting to get permission to show you the Brendan Carr interview he did with Benny Johnson earlier today, where he talked about it. Okay, so this is a big story. This is a big story. All right, let's just take a step back here. We are covering this big breaking news about ABC pulling the Jimmy Kimmel show off the air. Hours after the chairman of the FCC issued a threat against ABC and Disney, saying he would take action over comments made by Jimmy Kimmel about the Charlie Kirk shooting. I want to say a quick thanks to our moderators who are here. We have moderating right now Ruth Krafasi, Beth Mythical, and Roberts Mayqueen over on YouTube. Thank you for moderating. Also, we have moderating on Twitch, 13 Alamo, LB Prairie Dawn, Matthew Kohai 3, and Sarah. Thank you. Linda Belk, Larry, ABC yet, but they have confirmed to various outlets they are doing this. And just to be clear, ABC is owned by Disney. ABC is owned by Disney. Okay? Disney Entertainment. And so the Post said, the Washington Post says that the network confirmed to them that this is happening. They did not make any other comment. Earlier, this happened after the biggest owner of ABC affiliated stations, Nexstar, earlier today said that Kimmel's program would be replaced on its channels, linking to the move to statements the late night show host made about last week's killing of Kirk. Okay, now this is the quote I'm seeing. I saw it in Variety. The Washington Post has the quote too. Okay, I'm going to tell you what the quote is. This is not my quote. This is what Jimmy Kimmel said. On his show Monday, Kimmel said we had some new lows. I want to actually just make this clear, what I'm showing you here. Hold on a second here. Here, look. So you can see, this is the headline right here. ABC takes Jimmy Kimmel off the air over remarks on Charlie Kirk's killing. On his show Monday, says the Washington Post, Kimmel said, we had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and with everything they can and with everything they can to score political points from it. I guess that's the remark. I'm not, again, I don't know if he made other remarks about it. I haven't watched his show the last few days, so I can't confirm. But I've seen that quoted several places. Yes, as the Washington Post pointed out. So the press conference with a lot of new details about the shooting and the shooting suspect came yesterday, which would have been after Jimmy Kimmel's remarks on Monday. As the Washington Post points out, Tyler Robinson, the suspect in Kirk's shooting, does not appear to be ideologically conservative, or a supporter of President Trump. According to the charging documents from prosecutors released earlier, Robinson sent a message to his roommate that he had had enough of Kirk's hatred. Kimmel's contract with ABC was set to expire next year, and there was speculation about whether it would be renewed, particularly after the announcement in July that CBS owner Paramount would cancel its top-rated late-night show, Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Stephen Colbert is not a fan of President Trump. Okay, and here's a little from what the FCC Commission Chairman Brendan Carr said today. The FCC is part of the Trump administration. FCC Chairman Brendan Carr, Federal Communications Commission Chairman Brendan Carr, criticized Kimmel earlier today, suggesting the federal agency could pull broadcast licenses owned by parent company Disney. Licenses are given to local stations, not networks, and revocations are extremely rare. The FCC chair told
From Southwestern Medical Foundation, this is Learning from Leaders. We sit down with changemakers.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct and take actions on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead. Carr said he could certainly see a path forward for suspension for Kimmel at the network, something the FCC would have no involvement in. Carr has previously criticized the ABC show The View. The decision by ABC is likely to be seen as a concession to network critics of the network. In December, the company agreed to put $15 million toward Donald Trump's presidential library to settle a defamation lawsuit. Huge development. ABC taking Jimmy Kimmel off the air over remarks on Charlie Kirk's killing. After earlier in the day, FCC Chairman Brendan Carr threatened to pull licenses, broadcast licenses owned by the parent company of ABC, Disney. Wow. Wow. All right. We're going to keep bringing you updates on this. I have not seen a statement from Jimmy Kimmel yet. I will let you know if I do. I'm going to take some comments here and keep bringing you the latest updates. Let's see here. One of our viewers, Holy Moly, says, sounds good to me. Aldo Carrera, another viewer, says, fascism is here. Joe Rella says, I love it. Blessed Veteran says it's extremely anti-American not to not protect the First Amendment. Wake up, America. By the way, thank you to Andrew Huffman for your support. I appreciate that. We are bringing you the latest updates on this developing story. Also, Katie did too. Adventurer ZB, thank you. Also, Kane827. And also Anonymous Gifter on Twitch. We have a comment from Gavin Newsom's office. So I don't have the right to show this to you. I'm going to post a link in the chat. Brian Stelter with CNN asked the chair of the FCC, Brendan Carr, for a comment after ABC announced that it was pulling Jimmy Kimmel off the air indefinitely. This came after earlier in the day, Brendan Carr leveled a threat against ABC and Disney over Jimmy Kimmel's remarks. Okay? Again, I'm reading you, literally Fox News has a headline from earlier today that says, FCC chair levels threat against ABC and Disney after Kimmel suggested Charlie Kirk assassin was MAGA. So, once the news came out that ABC was pulling Kimmel off the air, Brian Stelter of CNN wrote to I guess either talked to or wrote to, asked Brendan Carr of the FCC for a comment, the FCC chair. And the FCC chair sent him a GIF, which is just a couple of characters from The Office celebrating like this. That was the comment from the FCC chair. And Governor Newsom's office released this statement. They reposted that news that was the comment the FCC chair made, that GIF, and the Governor Newsom's press office says, quote, corrupt, despicable, and spineless behavior. A coordinated effort to control the media is happening before our eyes, and it needs to be called out. That's from Gavin Newsom's office. PW360 says he thinks Donald Trump had nothing to do with this decision. I have no idea. I mean, the FCC chair was threatening Disney and ABC earlier today, so I can't speak to that. I don't know. Michael Lauzon thinks this means your rights and liberties, if you are not MAGA, are gone. Oh, hold on a second here. One of our viewers, the real Willis Clusa, sent me a previous post by President Trump. Let me see if I can find this one. Can I find the original post from Truth Social? Hang on. I'd rather find the original one. It's sometimes hard to find the original, the post you're looking for on one of these platforms, because you got to like rewind back months. I can't show that right now. I was looking for the original link to the post and I just can't find it. Oh, I think I can find it. I think I found it. I think I found the original post. Yes, Trump had written on Truth Social. A couple months ago, Trump had posted after CBS canceled the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. President Trump wrote on Truth Social, "I absolutely love that Colbert got fired." And he also said, "I hear Jimmy Kimmel is next." That was back in Thursday. That was back in July. All right, let me give you an update from AP here. Let me show you this. ABC suspends Jimmy Kimmel's late night show indefinitely over his remarks about Charlie Kirk's death. ABC has suspended Jimmy Kimmel's late night show indefinitely following comments he made about Charlie Kirk's killing. The decision Wednesday came after Nexstar earlier today announced its ABC affiliates would preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely over his comments. No comment from Kimmel yet. A spokesman for Kimmel did not immediately return a call for comment. So I think this was Monday. They say Tuesday. I read other things that said this was Monday. I think this was Monday, his Monday monologue. Anyway, they say in one of his monologues earlier this week, Kimmel said that we hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. That's what he said. Kimmel, like CBS late night host Stephen Colbert, has been consistently critical of President Trump and many of his policies on his ABC show. CBS said this past summer that it was canceling Colbert's show at the end of this season for financial reasons, although some critics have wondered if Colbert's stance on Trump played a role. Veet says he deserves to be off the air. Jerzas says free speech also includes things you don't agree with. Cynthia Masters says more of that pendulum swing. Butthead was here says we're just like Russia and China now. Brendan Brumond says, sorry, I'm dancing everyone, cheers with joy and happiness. Some of our viewers are pointing out that the free speech amendment in the Constitution applies to the government. Although I don't know how this. So I understand what you're saying. It's about the First Amendment.
From hard hats to steel-toed boots, Granger's got your safety needs covered.
Keep in mind. Hold on a second here. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment, religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech. But keep in mind, earlier today, according to Fox News, the FCC chair leveled a threat against ABC and Disney after Kimmel suggested the Charlie Kirk assassin was MAGA. FCC chair floated regulatory action against ABC today over Kimmel's comments. That's from Fox News. So, I mean, is that the government taking action to abridge speech? I don't know. So earlier today, again, I've seen this quote elsewhere, but Fox News reported on it. Brendan Carr, the FCC chair, told Benny Johnson, "Look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or, there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead." But that was the quote earlier today from the head of the FCC. Oh, Sinclair, I guess, had a statement too. Hold on. Yes, so earlier today, Sinclair Incorporated, how many, they and their partners have 30 stations, ABC stations. So before it was announced, so originally Nexstar and Sinclair announced it. So you can see 49 minutes ago, I assume the Sinclair came before ABC. I don't know the exact timing, actually. But 49 minutes ago, Sinclair had said, due to problematic comments regarding the murder of Charlie Kirk in programming provided to broadcast stations by ABC, Sinclair and its partners, which operate ABC stations in 30 markets in the U.S., will stop airing Jimmy Kimmel's show until further notice. Sinclair earlier today had said, "We applaud the interest from the FCC and Brendan Carr in reviewing the control exerted on local broadcasters by the big national networks." And yeah, Benny Johnson had said earlier after his interview with him, either during or after his interview with Brendan Carr, Benny Johnson said the FCC chairman is threatening immediate action against Jimmy Kimmel, ABC, and Disney for what he said was deliberately misleading the public by claiming Charlie Kirk's assassin was a MAGA conservative. Big news, Disney pulling Jimmy Kimmel off the air over his remarks about the Charlie Kirk shooting. Will we be getting a statement from Jimmy Kimmel soon? Or from ABC? I haven't even seen a statement from ABC. There's just confirmations that they're doing it. I have yet to see a statement from ABC about it. Wow, guys. All right, I'm going to take some more comments from you guys. Going to bring you more updates. This includes the show tonight, which normally would air what time? I don't even remember. 11:30? Like 4 hours from now? Barely Awake says, "Is The View next?" By the way, a quick thanks to ZB, Mitchell Pilot, GC America, Agent Black 5.0, Eric Bush, Starburst, Peep TB God, Jeremy Freeman, I Am Charlie, Nina Drew, Lori Shortlegs, Matt, Alex Price, Caleb, Lloyd M., Great Loner, Paul, Holden, Mark Emerson, Phil's Mod Squad, Marcus Peterson, Project Pluto, I Stand with the West. Thank you, Guy from the 207 as well. Amber Joy Krause, Snapper, Snapper says, I don't like cancel culture, but let's see the list of conservatives canceled over the past decade. Eric Bush thinks the FCC overstepped. Is the government regulating speech? Thank you, Crazy Yoda, as well. Now, I will say one of our viewers mentioned South Park tonight, Amber Joy Krause. So Variety had reported earlier today, this was hours ago, this was this morning, Variety reported this morning that South Park episode would not, the new episode would not air, and according to the show, that was because it hadn't actually gotten done in time. Now, I don't know if the episode tonight was going to talk about it all. I mean, these episodes get done. It's an animated show. They got to get written and produced. They're not writing the episode the day before it airs and producing it. I don't know what the material was in the episode. So Variety did point out that in August, now this is way before Charlie Kirk was shot, South Park poked fun at Charlie Kirk, and then that episode, after Kirk was killed, that episode was pulled from the reruns on Comedy Central. It's still up on Paramount Plus. I can't say what the new episode was about. But again, that was announced this morning, that the new episode was not going to run on time tonight. Thank you, Tim Moore. I appreciate that, Tim Moore. Yeah, and for those who missed it, we covered this earlier. So I haven't seen big updates on it. If you missed it, you can rewind to the start of the stream, because we originally came on the air to cover this really horrible shooting incident in York County, Pennsylvania, where 5 officers were shot, 3 were killed, 2 in critical condition. They were, if I'm remembering this right, they were visiting I believe a residence where there had been a domestic situation that reported that they were checking up on. I believe maybe they had been there the day before. I would have to go back and watch it exactly to get the exact wording. But they were checking up on some sort of domestic situation, and they got shot and killed. That was really awful. So we came on the air. You can go back and rewind and watch the press conference. Then this happened, so we just switched over to covering this from that after the press conference from that. So if I do hear any updates on that, I will certainly let you know. I haven't seen big updates on that since. There is going to be more information released about that, they suggested in the press conference. Our viewer Chambijay says, I looked at my programming schedule for my TV and Jimmy Kimmel Live is still listed to be on. Well, I don't know, like your TV guide and stuff. It might not be possible. That there might be all of this kind of process that would have to be gone through to change that. Maybe there's just it doesn't change in real time based on the news, and I don't even know if the providers can even change it that fast. Also, I don't even know if the providers know what they're putting there. So it's possible that on your TV or your cable system or whatever, it'll still say Jimmy Kimmel Live, but it will not be airing on your local ABC affiliate tonight. Let me read some more comments here. Luigi's mom says TV is a commercial business. If everyone stops watching, there is no money to be made. One moment here. Hold on one second. Yeah, by the way, somebody asked, I neglected to say when I was just summarizing the terrible story about the shooting earlier. The police said that the shooting suspect in that shooting where 5 officers were shot was dead after being shot by police. Okay? Also, Fox News pointed out, by the way, that the Consulate of Mexico posted on X about the shooting. And Fox News said it's unclear how the Mexican community may be connected to that incident. So I'll keep an eye out for that, for updates on that incident as well, which we covered earlier. But the shooter was fatally shot by police in that incident. I want to read some more comments here on this story. If you're just joining us, so what happened today is ABC has pulled Jimmy Kimmel's show off the air on ABC over comments he made about the Charlie Kirk shooting. Now, earlier today, Brendan Carr, who is the chairman of the FCC in the Trump administration, did an interview with Benny Johnson. And Brendan Carr threatened action against ABC and Disney and I believe affiliates over Jimmy Kimmel's remarks. Literally, Fox News had a story today where the headline was FCC chair levels threat against ABC Disney and Disney after Kimmel suggested Charlie Kirk assassin was MAGA. And one of the quotes that Brendan Carr said, one of the things he said today in this interview was with Benny Johnson. He said, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel. Or, there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead. Then after that, Nexstar, which I believe owns 32 ABC stations, said, well, we're pulling Kimmel off the air for the time, for indefinitely. And also Sinclair, which I think has around 30 ABC stations, its partners, said they were doing it. And I'm not positive Sinclair did it before ABC. I think they did. But anyways, after Nexstar announced it, then ABC came out and said, we're pulling it off of all the ABC stations. The network was pulling it off indefinitely. But we've heard very little from ABC. Just had it confirmed that they're taking it off indefinitely. Here, you can see right here. ABC to indefinitely halt broadcasts of Jimmy Kimmel Live after remarks about Kirk. Let me read a couple more comments here from you guys. Joshua Bebo says, hopefully The View will be next. That's what Joshua said. Yes, ABC is owned by Disney, as Wetner said on Twitch. Let's see here. Pete Finn thinks Kimmel will find a new platform soon. Our viewer Aria says, imagine caving to illegal threats from the FCC. Franco says the use of American people's airwaves is a privilege, not a right. Let me thank a couple people more. Thanks to P. Deetle. I really appreciate it. P. Deetle, thank you so much for your support. Also, thank you to Crazy Yoda. Crazy Yoda thinks if ABC thought his statement was fine, they wouldn't have done this. Thank you, Tim Moore. Also, thank you to, hang on, ZB. Thank you so much for your support, ZB. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Eric Bush, Queen of the South, BDK, Swiss Miss, Luigi's mom, Matt, Lucia Harizo, Joe, Not Applicable, Mitchell Pilot, thank you. Mitchell thinks that Kimmel would have gotten fired anyway, even if the FCC chair did not make those comments. Still waiting for some sort of statement from ABC. There's still, I mean, this happened fast. There's still no statement from ABC. There's confirmation from ABC that they've done this. There is still no statement from ABC. So basically, they did this quickly. To me, that means they did it quickly because they didn't even have time to, they wanted to just get it done even before having a statement prepared. Oh, FCC Chairman Brendan Carr will be on Fox News tonight. According to Yashar Ali, also Intel Point Alert mentioned that. Yashar Ali reports that Brendan Carr will give his first interview.
Yeah, I'm an AI, but I'm here to talk apps. Real apps you can build in minutes with Base 44. This
taken off the air by ABC after Brendan Carr, according as Fox News put it, leveled a threat against ABC and Disney over Kimmel's remarks about Charlie Kirk earlier today. Oh, thank you to PW360 for mentioning this. This is a White House account. Official White House account says, Rapid Response 47 says, look what they did. This is from the White House. They're doing their viewers a favor. Jimmy is a sick freak. That is from the White House Rapid Response 47. That's an official White House account. They're doing their viewers a favor. Jimmy is a sick freak. Thank you, PW360, for mentioning that. I wonder if I can get a transcript. You know, a viewer, thanks to a Bree sent me, there was a Fox article from earlier today, that had some more quotes from Jimmy Kimmel from his show about this whole situation. There's been one paragraph that a lot of articles have been quoting, but as I said, I don't know if he said other things about the situation. It certainly sounds from this Fox article like he did. I can't say whether one particular thing was what bothered certain people or more than one thing. Again, I'd have to go back and watch the whole thing. I don't have the rights to play that, by the way. But from the Fox article that Bree sent me, it certainly seemed like he said numerous things regarding the situation. And I don't have I wish I could. I can't play you guys the clips of Jimmy Kimmel. I don't own the rights to it. I can't start taking his stuff and playing it on the air. One of the quote that I'm seeing in various articles, and I showed it to you and I'll show it again, the Washington Post says, on his show Monday, Kimmel said, "We had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and with everything they can to score political points from it." That's one thing he said Monday. Still no official statement from ABC Network. None. I'm waiting to see. So ABC's most recent post at 6:01 p.m. was about Dancing with the Stars. Oh no, yes. Now this is it. Sorry. ABC has two recent posts. Hold on. So if you go to ABC's, there's all these comments on recent ABC posts on their Twitter. So a bunch of people are posting on their latest post. And then people posted yesterday a lot of comments on a post about Dancing with the Stars, it looks like, or about a bunch of their shows. But a lot of it's just about the Jimmy Kimmel thing. Yeah, so for example, if you go to the post from September 16th, which just promotes some of their shows, there's all these comments. A lot of people posted in their comments about being critical of what Kimmel said. One of our viewers pointed out I don't even watch it. Is it still hosted by Jimmy Kimmel? One of our viewers pointed out that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is an ABC show, and Rick Mack mentioned this. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is an ABC show, and their season finale is scheduled for September 25th. And if you go to their X account at Millionaire TV, it's literally a big picture of Jimmy Kimmel. So I don't know if that show is going to air or not. It's a fair question from Rick Mack. Thanks, Rick Mack, for messaging in about that. So no comment from Jimmy Kimmel yet. No comment from No comment with any kind of details from ABC yet. Oh, I have an update about Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I just found it. Matthew Belloni of Puck News says ABC source says it has no plans to pull Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which is hosted by Jimmy Kimmel. Matthew Belloni then said, at least not until Brendan Carr sees this tweet and asks that it be pulled. So Matthew Belloni with Puck News is saying that ABC source says no plans to pull Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. He seems to think that they still might pull it. But I don't think he was posting that as a joke. He is with Puck News. And so I'm taking him as posting that seriously that report. ABC source says no plans to pull Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, hosted by Jimmy Kimmel. We'll see what happens with that. By the way, I don't know about this. Daily Mail had a headline saying Jimmy Kimmel goes nuclear, but I don't know where that's coming from. I haven't seen any quotes from Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, look, I'm sure he's not happy about it, right? But I have not seen any reliable quotes from Jimmy Kimmel about this situation. Iliam DB thinks this is nothing compared to what's coming. Thanks to Luigi's mom, by the way. Bedhead says, so the party of free speech is against free speech. Got it. Just Ryan says, I have so much joy. Joshua Type Beats thinks that they might pull the host of Who Wants to Be the Millionaire instead of the show. Thanks to Joe for your support. Also, the Polish Drunk, thank you for your support. And Adrian Taylor, thanks for the memberships. Thank you, Adrian. No comment from President Trump yet. Now, it is, 1 in the morning in the UK? It is 1 in the morning. I don't know. I think he might... breaking news, Trump just posted. Breaking news. Breaking news, Trump just posted. Hold on, I'm going to put it on the screen for you right now. Breaking news, Trump just posted about this. Breaking news. Post from President Trump. I got to show my breaking news graphic now. There's the graphic. Here is the post from President Trump. He says, great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has...
Some of my kids are top of their class, and I fully attribute IXL to helping them reach that goal because of all of the...
Jimmy and Seth, 2 total losers on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC. President Donald Trump. So President Trump is encouraging NBC to fire Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers. That is the new post from President Trump. He just posted it on Truth Social. That is his new post. Now, the show is not canceled, by the way. That has been not announced. It's been announced that it's been pulled off the air indefinitely, just to be clear technically about what's happened. Wow. President Trump calls it great news for America. I was literally just wondering if he was going to post, and as soon as I checked, it was right after he posted. The timing just worked out. So we got you that right away. Get ready. You're going to have, there's going to be big debate over how much this was due to the Trump administration. Because as I mentioned, we've been talking about this earlier today. Brendan Carr threatened ABC and Disney and affiliates over the remarks of Jimmy Kimmel about Charlie Kirk. Literally headline from Fox today, earlier today. This was 3 hours ago from Fox, 5:05 p.m. The headline was FCC chair levels threat against ABC and Disney after Kimmel suggested Charlie Kirk assassin was MAGA. So that just happened a few hours ago. So there's going to be a lot of debate over how much was this due to pressure from the Trump administration, whether explicit or implicit. Was there any pressure behind the scenes? I don't know the answer to this question. I'm just telling you, you're going to hear a bunch of debate about it. That's what, I mean, there's going to be debate about it for other reasons, but that's one thing you're going to be hearing. Hang on a second here. Oh, I just saw another story I wanted to mention. So, thanks, by the way. I think I first heard about this from I just want to say thanks to them, Faytux Network. Thanks to Faytux Network for posting this. This is from Politico. Politico is reporting that an immigration judge, I know it's a little off topic, I just want to update you guys. Mahmoud Khalil, who was an activist at Columbia University, and he helped organize campus protests. And he was arrested in March, and he was detained in Louisiana, and it got a lot of attention. So Politico is reporting that an immigration judge has ordered that he be deported to Syria or Algeria. And also, Politico says that his lawyers said in a filing they're going to appeal this order, but they were concerned that the appeal process would be swift and unfavorable. So they are saying they're appealing. But again, I just wanted to give you that update. That's from a couple hours ago. I hadn't seen it yet, so we're not going to cover that in depth right now. I just wanted to pass it along. Thanks again for Faytux Network for posting about it, because I just first saw it from them. You know, I want to check some of the other reporting on this Kimmel story, if you give me a moment here. Oh, the Hollywood Reporter says, when asked by the Hollywood Reporter, the source said that Kimmel was not planning on apologizing. He felt that what he said did not need an apology. Hold on. The Hollywood Reporter reports that Kimmel was prepared to address the backlash on the show tonight. So the apology thing was a comment about tonight's show, not in general. The Hollywood Reporter says Kimmel was prepared to address the backlash tonight, that he was going to explain what was said, demonstrate how it had been taken out of context, and also a source said Kimmel was not planning on apologizing. Although I'm a little confused if the apology was supposed to be tonight or just in general. Anyways, that is from the Hollywood Reporter. I'll post a link to the story on my X account. If I can find it again here. Hold on a second. Where did that go? So again, the Hollywood Reporter is reporting that Kimmel was going to address the situation tonight. Now you might say, well, why would he address it tonight? So remember, what happened is he made comments about the shooting on Monday night's show. Okay? And one of the comments he made was, just to show you again, you can see here, as the Washington Post says, on his show Monday, Kimmel said, "We had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and with everything they can to score political points from it." Now, this was before the press conference yesterday, which certainly, according to the press conference from authorities, suggested that this shooter was more left-leaning. I mean, the Washington Post says it here. He does not. The suspect does not appear to be ideologically conservative or a supporter of President Trump. So now yesterday, that press conference was yesterday. When did that happen? That press conference yesterday? I can't remember. But I believe that the Jimmy Kimmel show would tape. I don't know. I don't know when it taped yesterday. So you might have said, well, why didn't he apologize for it yesterday? Anyways, the point is, he made these comments on Monday. So I don't know if he would have had time to address it yesterday on the show. Maybe he just said more comments about it on the show, because I don't know when that press conference was in relation to when he filmed his show. But for whatever it's worth, the Hollywood Reporter says a source told them that Kimmel was going to talk about the backlash tonight, and explain what he said, and demonstrate how it was taken out of context, but he was not planning on apologizing, for whatever that's worth. Oh, Hollywood Reporter says the decision by Nexstar comes as the broadcast station is seeking FCC approval for its $6.2 billion mega deal to acquire Tegna, a deal that would make Nexstar by far the largest owner of local TV stations in the country. The FCC would have to raise the 40% ownership cap in order to let the deal advance. Again, that is from the Hollywood Reporter. By the way, I don't know if there's a connection between these things. I'm just pointing out that it's a complex situation because the FCC chair went on, did an interview today with Benny Johnson first, where he threatened ABC and Disney over Kimmel's remarks. As I mentioned, I haven't watched the whole interview, but literally the headline on Fox News is FCC chair levels threat against ABC and Disney after Kimmel suggested Charlie Kirk assassin was MAGA. So, and then before ABC pulled the show, Nexstar first announced that I think it has around 32 affiliates. Nexstar announced before ABC as a whole, Nexstar said that they were pulling Kimmel from Nexstar indefinitely. So it's complex because the FCC chair threatens ABC and Disney, then Nexstar pulls Kimmel, and according to Hollywood Reporter, Nexstar is seeking FCC approval for its $6.2 billion mega deal to acquire Tegna, a deal that would make Nexstar by far the largest owner of local TV stations in the country. Again, I don't know if these things are connected at all. I just want to point that out as another complicating factor here. Yeah, Variety pointed out the same thing as Hollywood Reporter. They said that Nexstar was in the middle of trying to acquire another large TV station owner, Tenga, for $6.2 million, which would require the approval of the FCC. Variety says a spokesman for Nexstar declined to comment on whether the pending deal that needed approval from the FCC played a role in the company's decision today to pull Jimmy Kimmel from the air. All right. Breaking news. Hold on a second here. I just saw an extra thing. Hold on a moment here. Let me see if I can confirm this. Might be another update in this story. We might have more breaking news for you. Where is it here? Possible breaking news. I can't confirm it, though. I'm trying to confirm it. I can't confirm this. I saw something. It's not like earth-shattering, but it's interesting. But I can't confirm it yet, so I'm going to hold off until I can confirm it. I'm guessing it's true. Where is that coming from? I'm going to ask the guy who posted it. If I can get confirmation, I'll tell you. I asked the person who posted it. All right, if you're just joining us, ABC announced that, but without making further comments so far, ABC has pulled Jimmy Kimmel Live, the Jimmy Kimmel Late Night Show, off the air over comments, following comments about that he made about the Charlie Kirk shooting. This comes after earlier today, the FCC chairman in the Trump administration, Brendan Carr, did an interview with Benny Johnson, in which Brendan Carr, I'll use the language of Fox News, they said FCC chair levels threat against ABC and Disney after Kimmel suggested Charlie Kirk assassin was MAGA. One of the things Brendan Carr said in his interview today with Benny Johnson was he said that broadcasters have a license granted by us at the FCC, and that comes with an obligation to operate in the public interest. He said, we can do this. He said, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or, there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead. And then after that, Nexstar, which has, I think, around 32 ABC channels, they said they were pulling Kimmel. And then eventually, ABC as a whole said they were pulling Kimmel indefinitely from their lineup. Okay, I want to mention something here that I just saw, and I talked to the person who posted it. So Matthew Keys, who I follow, he said he has, and he posted the link, he posted it. He posted a statement that he had gotten from Sinclair, where the statement says that Sinclair is going to, in the place of Jimmy, so Sinclair Broadcast Group, I think, has around 30 ABC stations. They had, along with Nexstar, announced today that they were pulling Jimmy Kimmel off. I think they announced it before ABC did it as a whole. They are going to run in the time slot that normally would air Jimmy Kimmel tonight. Sinclair, according to Matthew Keys, and he did post the statement from them, Sinclair will air a 1-hour tribute to Charlie Kirk that's on Friday. On Friday, okay. So I thought it was tonight. On Friday, Sinclair will air a 1-hour tribute to Charlie Kirk in the time slot normally reserved for Jimmy Kimmel Live. I thought they were saying tonight. So that's Friday. Okay. And Matthew posted a statement from Sinclair saying this, where they say Sinclair's ABC stations will air a special in remembrance of Charlie Kirk this Friday during Jimmy Kimmel Live's time slot. They are also, it seems to be a Sinclair special, because they said Sinclair is offering the special to all ABC affiliates across the country. I don't know what they're airing tonight. Oh, they just posted it. They just posted it themselves, guys. Look. St. Clair's ABC stations to air special in remembrance of Charlie Kirk during Jimmy Kimmel Live Friday time slot. St. Clair's ABC stations will air a special in remembrance of Charlie Kirk this Friday during the Jimmy Kimmel Live time slot. The special will also air across all St. Clair stations this weekend. In addition, St. Clair is offering the special to all ABC affiliates across the country. Thank you to Mercer. Mercer thinks this sets a precedent. Anyone who thinks Dems won't do the same when in power now is delusional. Both sides need to stop before it's too late. Gary Bain says more winning. Gurav Shind says let's go. Ann Breedenstein says the Constitution is having a meltdown. By the way, thank you so much to the Vladinator. Vladinator posted a post by a quote he said is from Franklin Roosevelt. Oh, I can find the original one. But part of the quote that he quoted from Franklin Roosevelt, the Vladinator, is, "We must scrupulously guard the civil rights and civil liberties of all our citizens, whatever their background." Thank you, the Vladinator. Thanks to Horeo. Horeo thinks late night shows were propaganda arms of the left for a decade now. This is a very big story. This is a very, very, very big story. This is an important story. You're going to be hearing a lot of debate about this in the country. Breaking news. President Trump has declared Antifa a major terrorist organization. Guys, more breaking news. I'm not making this up.
Build a website you love with Wix. For your words,
I don't even know what this means. Practically speaking, I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa, a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster, as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I don't know what this practically means when you say you're declaring them a major terrorist organization. Some of our viewers are saying they're not an organization. This is, again, I don't know the practicalities of all this. But he is saying, that's what he said. He posted it 5 minutes ago. So something else we'll keep an eye on. One of our viewers said, why aren't you showing Pennsylvania? Rewind the video. We already covered, we showed the entire press conference about the terrible shooting of the officers in Pennsylvania. So we already covered it earlier in the stream. So you can rewind and you can watch that press conference. It was terrible. 5 officers were shot while investigating a domestic situation. 3 were killed, 2 are in critical condition. If I get any big updates, I will let you know. But we covered it earlier in the stream. So that's happening now. Again, I honestly don't know what that all means. Now, Shelby Talcott said Trump also issued such a designation in 2020, though there were questions about implementation regarding the Antifa thing. Yeah, back in May 2020, he tweeted that Sunday that the U.S. will designate Antifa as a terrorist organization. That was back in May of 2020. So I don't understand. I don't know exactly what that's going to mean. I'm literally reading a headline from May 31st of 2020 where CNN said Trump tweets Antifa will be labeled a terrorist organization, but experts believe it's unconstitutional. So I don't know what ended up happening with that. I don't know if he ever went through with it or whatever. So, just letting you know. Sorry, I'm checking for updates here. If you missed it, here is President Trump's statement about ABC pulling Jimmy Kimmel off the air several hours after the FCC chair threatened ABC and Disney over and ABC's parent Disney over comments Jimmy Kimmel had made on his show about the Charlie Kirk shooting. President Trump wrote, "Great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel's show is canceled." Now, technically, it's not canceled. It's pulled off the air indefinitely. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible. That leaves Jimmy and Seth. He means Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers, 2 total losers on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC. President DJT. Rig Jan Bear says this is great news for America. AKF 2996 says, really looking like the majority of conservatives would prefer a world without left-leaning ideologies. Extremely disturbing. I still don't have a statement from Kimmel. I still don't have a statement from ABC News, an official statement about this. They have confirmed to various outlets that they're doing it, but no statement from them yet. What did I want to check here? A lot going on for a Friday night. Was it Friday? I don't even know what day it is. It's Wednesday night. I was like, Friday night. It's Wednesday night. A lot going on for a Wednesday night. A lot going on for any night. I don't even know what day it is. Sorry, I haven't really eaten today, so I was about to eat when this all happened. So I'm not really functioning at full capacity. Let's see here. Breaking news. Sinclair says, I'm going to read you something from Sinclair, which owns, I think, about 30, I think them and their partners have about 30 ABC stations. Sinclair says, regardless of ABC's plans for the future of the program, Sinclair intends not to return Jimmy Kimmel Live to our air until we are confident that the appropriate steps have been taken to uphold the standards expected of a national broadcast platform. Hang on a moment here. So Sinclair is saying even if ABC brings it back, they're going to use their own judgment to decide whether they're going to run it or not. Let me read you that quote from Sinclair again. So Sinclair says, regardless of ABC's plans for the future of the program, Sinclair intends not to return Jimmy Kimmel Live to our air until we are confident that the appropriate steps have been taken to uphold the standards expected of a national broadcast platform. Also, Sinclair says Kimmel suspension is not enough, calls on FCC and ABC to take additional action. Also, Sinclair says it will not lift the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live on its stations until formal discussions are held with ABC regarding the network's commitment to professionalism and accountability. All right, I'm going to show you what Sinclair had to say. This is the new statement from Sinclair, which again, I believe has roughly 30 ABC outlets with their partners. I think that's what they said before. They own 178 television stations total. So Sinclair says Kimmel suspension is not enough. Calls on FCC and ABC to take additional action. Sinclair's ABC stations to air a special in remembrance of Charlie Kirk during Jimmy Kimmel Live time slot on Friday. St. Clair, the nation, this is from them. St. Clair objects to recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel concerning the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Life is more legal than you think, and LegalZoom is here to help. Whether it's registering a business.
Following these discussions, ABC has suspended production of Jimmy Kimmel Live. Mr. Kimmel's remarks were inappropriate and deeply insensitive at a critical moment for our country, said Vice Chairman Jason Smith. We believe broadcasters have a responsibility to educate and elevate respectful, constructive dialogue in our communities. We appreciate FCC Chairman Carr's remarks today, and this incident highlights the critical need for the FCC to take immediate regulatory action to address control held over local broadcasters by the big national networks. They also say St. Clair's ABC stations will air a special in remembrance of Charlie Kirk this Friday during Jimmy Kimmel Live's time slot. The special will also air across all St. Clair stations this weekend. In addition, St. Clair is offering the special to all ABC affiliates across the country. St. Clair will not lift the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live on our stations until formal discussions are held with ABC regarding the network's commitment to professionalism and accountability. St. Clair also calls upon Mr. Kimmel to issue a direct apology to the Kirk family. Furthermore, we ask Mr. Kimmel to make a meaningful personal donation to the Kirk family in Turning Point USA. That's something else they said. Okay, here. Then they said, also they said, hold on. Regardless of ABC's plans for the future of the program, St. Clair intends not to return Jimmy Kimmel Live to our air until we are confident that appropriate steps have been taken to uphold the standards expected of a national broadcast platform. So, they're saying that they're not going to start airing it again until they're satisfied. Forget about what the network says. I wonder if Nexstar will say something similar. So they want Jimmy Kimmel, who is certainly left-leaning in his politics, to make a meaningful donation to the Kirk family and Turning Point USA, which is an organization devoted to advancing conservative causes, including getting out the vote for Donald Trump and conservative candidates. They want Kimmel to make a meaningful donation. So if Jimmy Kimmel doesn't make a meaningful donation, personal donation to Turning Point USA, they're not going to air his show. It's not exactly clear from the way they wrote this. It might be. You could interpret it that way. Wow. Wow. Yeah, St. Clair operates ABC stations in 30. St. Clair and its partners operate ABC stations in 30 markets in the U.S. Wow, guys. Hold on a second here. We're trying to get you more updates here on this news. All right, here's a little summary about what happened today, including what happened with the FCC chair. So you can see, by the way, thanks so much to our moderators who are here. I really appreciate it. We have moderating right now. Beth Mythical is moderating. Cynthia Moon is moderating. Thank you. We also have Hearsay, LB Prairie Dawn, Matthew Kohai 3, McBritches, Sarah, and Papa Bear. Thanks to all of you there on Twitch. Also, we have Paul Anderson moderating. Thank you. Kay Lowry Body, big thanks. All of our moderators, Linda Belk, Larry, and Misha moderating. Thank you. So there's a little summary here. So this is from Reuters. Disney's ABC pulls Jimmy Kimmel Live off the air after remarks about Kirk. Walt Disney-owned ABC said it was pulling Jimmy Kimmel Live off the air after remarks by the show's late-night host about Charlie Kirk's assassination sparked harsh criticism by the head of the Federal Communications Commission, which is part of the Trump executive branch. The decision comes as Republican President Trump has repeatedly pressured broadcasters to stop airing content he has found objectionable and called on the FCC to pull licenses from stations. An ABC spokesperson said, without elaborating, Jimmy Kimmel Live will be preempted indefinitely. That's the only quote from ABC so far. Earlier, Nexstar Media Group, which describes itself as the nation's largest local TV and media company, said it would stop airing the show on 32 ABC affiliates, citing Kimmel's comments. Mr. Kimmel's comments about the death of Mr. Kirk are offensive and insensitive at a critical time in our national political discourse, said the president of Nexstar's broadcasting division. Kimmel made remarks on Monday night about the September 10th assassination of Kirk. On Monday night, he said, "We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it," he said on his Monday night show. Kimmel also criticized Trump's mourning of Kirk, pointing to a video of Trump's comments on the White House lawn. "This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish," Kimmel said. Kimmel did not respond to a request for comment today. Trump has frequently credited Charlie Kirk for driving more young voters and voters of color in support of his successful presidential campaign in 2024. Kirk was a founder at age 18, a co-founder of Turning Point USA, an organization dedicated to advancing conservative causes on college campuses and among young voters. Earlier today, FCC Chair Brendan Carr had urged local broadcasters to stop airing Jimmy Kimmel Live on ABC. The FCC chair earlier today suggested that the FCC could open an investigation as a result and that broadcasters could potentially be fined or lose their licenses if there was a pattern of distorted comment. Again, this is from earlier today, before this announcement by Nexstar and then by ABC. FCC Chair Brendan Carr said in an interview with conservative Benny Johnson today, "This is a very, very serious issue right now for Disney. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. Disney needs to see some changes here, but the individual licensed stations that are taking their content, it's time for them to step up and say this, garbage to the extent that that's what comes down the pipe in the future isn't something we think serves the needs of our local communities." Trump has repeatedly sued, berated, and threatened media companies whose coverage he disputes with legal or other action, says Reuters. Brendan Carr, a Trump appointee whose agency regulates broadcast TV licenses essential to networks like ABC, has echoed Trump's concerns about media bias. Brendan Carr celebrated the July cancellation of CBS's The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, a frequent platform for anti-Trump satire. At the time that The Late Show with Stephen Colbert was canceled, CBS parent Paramount Global was seeking U.S. regulators' approval for a merger with Skydance Media, which was ultimately granted. After Colbert was dismissed, after Colbert's show was canceled earlier this year, President Trump said next up will be an even less talented Jimmy Kimmel. By the way, Reuters does point out that viewership of late night shows has been on the decline, as has much of traditional TV, as viewers shift to streaming and local media. Jimmy Kimmel Live averaged 1.57 million viewers per episode during the broadcast season that ended in May. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert was the most watched late night show during that time, with an average of 1.9 million viewers. So there's some background from Reuters on this. Hang on a second here. Let me read some more comments from you guys. FAJG thinks it's the best news ever. Derek says the new cancel culture. Yeah, as Fall Vibe says, Colbert is still on the air. They said it's canceled and that it's not being renewed, the Colbert show. Is it next year it ends, I think? Robert Polks, our viewer, says, making America great again. Alec Hagar, our viewer, says, cancel culture is back and strong. Thank you to Brian Jones for your support. Arch Prospero, GNU Gut for your thanks, for your support. Ian, Georgia Peach, Lynn Z, New Yorican Joseph, Shorty 6890, Andy Crabtree, KWNY Upstate, American, Mr. Amber Lamps, Trippy, Adrian Taylor, ZB, Rule. Rule says adios comrades. Trippy says Charlie Kirk was against cancel culture. Trippy thinks if you agree with this, then you were never a Charlie Kirk fan. Thanks Naomi Nocturnal and Mercer for your support. We're bringing you live coverage here. Also, thanks to, hang on a moment. Thanks so much to Clay Bros for the gift subs on Twitch. Thank you, Clay Bros. Also, hold on a moment here. Who Shot JR? And Madam Prout for subscribing. Also, hey, Bradley Larkin, that's very generous of you. I really appreciate your support for the channel so much. Bradley Larkin, Big shout out to you for supporting the channel. It's very kind of you. No statement from Kimmel yet. And I have not seen any kind of significant statement from ABC yet. You know, I want to watch it here. I just saw a post about, I wish I could show the Jimmy Kimmel clip, but there's like a minute clip that's floating around. So I want to just see for a second if I can play it myself. Maybe I can take 1 minute and listen to it myself. It'd be great if I could play it at fast speed, but I can't play it on the air. That's the thing. So, but I can listen to it and tell you, because I don't know what the whole monologue was like. I'd be interested in going back and watching the whole thing. Hang on a moment here. All right, give me 1 sec. Yeah, so I mean, again on Monday he definitely made multiple remarks about this. He was critical also of how the president was mourning it. Played a clip of the president talking about it. But again, I'm not in the room where they make these decisions, so I haven't watched all of his broadcasts the last couple of days, so I can't give you the full sum of what he has said about this. Sky Breeze doesn't think Kimmel said anything explosive. He was just critical on Trump. The other thing I want to point out here is this. So there's all kind of range of if...
Got safety protocols? Grainger has the safety pros to call.
There's all kinds of a range of things that can be done. You could say Jimmy Kimmel will not air tonight, or Jimmy Kimmel will not air for the rest of the week, right? They did not say that, or Jimmy Kimmel will make an apology tonight, or something like that, right? They said, I mean, there's canceling the show, which hasn't been done yet, but this is the second highest level of this is the second highest punishment ABC can give, which is pulling it off the air indefinitely with no notice. So, I mean, the only step I can think of beyond that is, I mean, well, in theory, you could say they could suspend it for 10 years but not cancel. But you see what I'm saying? So it's not just that they're taking action on it. They could have easily said, we're not going to air for a few days. But again, what happened is Nexstar, which has, I think, 32 ABC channels, before ABC did it, Nexstar and Sinclair, which are in dozens of markets, and they own the affiliates, they already said, well, we're pulling it off. And then ABC said, we're pulling it off. So I don't know, if ABC... Maybe ABC would have preferred to do something less, but at that point, Nexstar and Sinclair had already established that they were pulling it indefinitely. Who knows what these conversations were like between ABC and Nexstar and Sinclair and the Kimmel show and whoever else. And I also don't know if anyone from the FCC or the White House was talking to anybody else. Who knows? Oh, I should have a... Hang on. I should be able to read this story. Give me one moment. I'm trying to pull up something so I can read it here. Give me one story. Only one sec. Let me see if I can pull this up. One moment here. Can I do this? I should be able to read it if I can find this. I might not be able to find it at the moment. Might have to check this later. I wonder if this kind of thing will happen with other shows or other performers in the future. Abel says the winds of change are upon us. By the way, Sinclair owns more ABC stations than any other affiliate group, according to Hollywood Reporter. Big developments. I don't know what the local affiliates are going to air in place of it tonight either. They got to figure out what to put on. I mean, I think they can find something, but they're not going to air this. And I don't know when it might come back. Let me again point that I think this is important. Sinclair has more ABC stations than any other media group, right? Sinclair? And remember what they said, Sinclair. Here it is. They said, hold on. They said they want FCC and ABC to take additional action. Here, let me pull this up for you. So look at this at the bottom here from Sinclair. Sinclair will not lift the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live on our stations until formal discussions are held with ABC regarding the network's commitment to professionalism and accountability. Sinclair also calls upon Mr. Kimmel to make a direct apology to the Kirk family. Furthermore, we ask Mr. Kimmel to make a meaningful personal donation to the Kirk family and Turning Point USA. Regardless of ABC's plans for the future of the program, Sinclair intends not to return Jimmy Kimmel Live to our air until we are confident that appropriate steps have been taken to uphold the standards expected of a national broadcast platform. So it's not even just up to ABC to bring it back on the air. Even if ABC says he can come back on the air, Sinclair itself might not show it. That's a pretty striking statement. Lola P. thinks this is radical. One of our viewers says it gets worse for Kimmel. I wonder, I could see a world in which he just doesn't come back. He might not, if he's upset enough about the situation, he might just be like, I'm not going back on ABC. I don't know. I mean, there's a whole weird, there's contracts and stuff which can make it difficult, but he might not feel, if he feels that the network isn't behind him, he might just say, I'm done. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I would not be surprised if he did. Joe says he might go solo. I mean, he might, look, he certainly has been well paid over the years. I can't speak to his personal financial situation. I'm guessing it's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I would, forget about, like, for the moment, you might think, well, how many weeks is it going to be, or months? He might just say, I'm not coming back. But again, the one thing is, if he has a contract with ABC, it might be very difficult. It might present enormous difficulties to do that kind of thing if you have a signed contract. And I don't know about the legality of it. Although who knows, if ABC is kind of wants to have its hands free of all this, they might be okay with it. But I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if that ends up happening. I will say this though, also. Another thing that makes it difficult for him to just stop is it's a show with a lot of employees who, that show provides the livelihood. I want to say for hundreds of people, if not more. There's people who, these are not super wealthy people. These are regular people. You might talk about the camera people or the catering people or the writers or whoever else. But there's lots of people who work on a production like this. And so if you're somebody, whoever it is, whoever the host is of a show like this, on whatever network and whatever type of show, I'm sure that is something they don't want to do, is take the paycheck suddenly away from all the people who work for them. So that's going to be a consideration too, if he would decide to do it, is he knows that these people will be left without work. So that's a whole other issue. Oh, Brendan Carr is on Hannity right now, by the way. Now, I cannot play this. Brendan Carr is on Hannity right now. I cannot play it for you live. If you turn on Hannity, you will see the FCC chair there. I'm just peeking at it in the captions. I can see the captions, but I'll have to maybe go and watch the thing. Anybody with Fox News, you can turn it on Fox News and see it right now. I'm just seeing what he's saying. Anyways, it's a little difficult for me to follow because I don't want to be sitting here just watching the interview. But again, if you want to, I'll probably watch it after. But you can turn on Fox News right now and see FCC Chair Brendan Carr talking to Sean Hannity. No, Jimmy Kimmel has not made a statement. Horizons thinks Family Feud will air tonight? Wow, big news. I was not expecting this. Thank you to Kane827 and Kane thinks the Tim Allen show was blatantly canceled for being a conservative on a leftist network. That's what Kane said. Thank you, A-Man, some Dre Bloke, Carol's Dark Sarcasm, Justinian, Dream Squad HD, Brian Jones, Arch Prospero. All right, we're going to do a little more coverage here. Eventually, I'm going to have to eat something. I have not eaten. We did a stream before this, and I was going to eat, and then this happened. Well, actually, before the start of the stream was we were covering the terrible news about the shooting in Pennsylvania, in York County, where 5 police officers were shot, and three of those were killed. So we covered that, and then this happened while that press conference was going on. Yeah, guys, I'm aware of the Antifa story. We talked about it earlier. President Trump posted that he was designating Antifa a major terrorist organization. I don't know what that means. He had posted something similar to that back in 2020. I don't know. I don't have a good sense at this point practically what that will end up needing. So, but we did cover it earlier. If I hear big updates on that, I'll let you know. I wonder if we'll get a statement from. I wonder if we'll get a statement from Jimmy Kimmel tonight about this, or more of a statement from ABC. Callie Voltaire says, so much news. Yes, so much happening. All right. I'm just looking for updates for you on this. It is 9:17 p.m. right now, Eastern Time. All right, guys, here's what I think we need to do. I really need to eat something, to be blunt with you, because to be honest with you, because again, we had done a